find that a lot of the blame when a child, especially a female child, doesn't turn out the best or in a way that you think that she should, that people blame the absent father and not the present mother. Yes, I think that can have an impact, but and I don't want to use the word blame, but to make a correlation between the young girl, especially, not turning out the way she should, and the fact that her father wasn't around versus the fact that her mother was around and she still turned out that way. Sorry, I had to realize I covered up my boobies because my hands are moving all over the place. So, it's funny because for those of you who don't know, I am the product of an affair. So my father was married and my mother was his mistress. My parents are in very different financial situations. My father is settled down, while my mother didn't do so well. So at some point, I came to live with my father and my stepmother, who raised me as one of her children. And so I grew up thinking that my stepmother was actually my mother. And then I eventually emigrated to Canada when I was 9 to live with my biological mother. I tell you this story to say neither of those women, if I can recall in my 44-year-old brain, ever said a bad word about my father. Despite his actions as a flawed man, when it came to him being my father, there was not a bad word said about him. Actually, my mother used to rave about my father because despite the fact that he had this character flaw of being a cheater, when it come to being a parent, especially my parent, he was a great father. And I grew up consistently hearing about how amazing my father was. It was to the point that there were things that my father, the man, did that people chose to keep from me until I was damn near 40, because they saw how I revered my father. My father walked on water, right? Like, I love my daddy. My daddy walked on water until he didn't, and that was the day he died. You can tell me nothing about my father. So I had all of these women in my life conspire for me to see my father in the best possible way. And so, in turn, my view of men is very positive. This is why, for me, I would answer that a present mother is more influential in a child's life than an absent father, because it is the present mother that creates the narrative for this child about men.